Welcome in to the Retirement Playbook, brought to you by Alspaugh Wealth Management. We're here with you every week, bringing you some great ideas to think about when it comes to your retirement, getting to and through retirement. Today, we have got a great topic to talk about, very timely. Everybody's getting excited about what? Turkey Day. You're getting excited about falling asleep an hour after you eat because of that tryptophan. Never forget about that. And as always, I'm joined by my co-host, Mr. Tony Shore. Hello, Tony.
Hello. And yeah, next week is Turkey Day. I'm looking forward to slipping into that tryptophan mashed potatoes coma on the couch after the meal, and then not getting up until the next day when I take the leftover turkey, fry it in a pan with some butter, season it a little bit, put it between two pieces of toast with some cheese and mayonnaise, and just have myself a turkey sandwich.
Stop it. Actually, it's not toast. You're going to use the leftover rolls, Tony.
That's right. Yeah, the rolls.
Come on,
leftover rolls, if there are any left. They go pretty quick in the Shore house, I'll tell you that.
I get it.
Hey, I don't know if I'm probably, everyone's too young for this, including you, Brock, but the classic part of Thanksgiving is the WKRP in Cincinnati turkey drop episode where they drop turkeys out of a plane. And
as God is my witness, I thought turkeys could fly.
What a great show. I do remember, and maybe not that episode, but I do remember the show. And
as God is my witness, I thought turkeys could fly. They dropped turkeys out of a helicopter over a mall parking lot, but they're the big ones that they raise for Thanksgiving meals, and those can't fly. It's not like a wild turkey, and they drop them.
Oh, my gosh. So funny. So funny.
So what are we talking about on the show today, bro?
So today we're going to talk about, a lot of people right now are getting all of their Medicare topics. If you're 65 or older, you are, either changing your plans, you're changing your prescription plan, your supplement, your Advantage plans, all of that kind of stuff you're looking at right now. We're still in that time frame of the annual enrollment period. But really what I want to talk about today, Tony, is Medicare, right? I mean, so many Americans are looking forward to this time of year because of, things. And I don't know about in your life, Tony, but in my our life and in our business, we're still in football season. We're still in the postseason here. We've got the quarterfinals against Kirkwood this week. It's a huge game. Hope to see a lot of Jackson fans up in Kirkwood. However, it does slow down. Life slows down a little bit, and that's a good thing. Why? Because we're entering a period we're supposed to be thankful for the things that we have in our life and the people that we have in our life and the relationships we have in our life. Yeah. So it's a really good time of year to reflect on what's really important in life. And so when you're talking about your financial life, what's really important is protecting your portfolio from healthcare costs. And one of those ways we do that is through Medicare. So today we're going to talk a little bit about 2025. So next year's, Medicare picture and what it looks like, and the Part B premium is going to increase, and it's going to outpace both the Social Security cost of living adjustment and inflation, unfortunately. Okay, so we know it goes up most years, but we're going to talk about that, what that means to you, and then some things that we can do to help with that as well. So, very timely topic here, Tony, and so let's get right to it. So, according to the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, also known as CMS, Americans who utilize American Part B will pay again a little bit more in 2025. Next year, the standard monthly premium for those enrolled in Medicare Part B, right? So let's take a step back a little bit here, Tony, and kind of explain parts of the Medicare, and then, we'll talk a little bit about the supplements and those kinds of things as well. Sure. But Medicare Part A is your hospital insurance, okay? So it's your facilities, all right? And so Part A is kind of included when you're enrolled into Medicare. But Part B is your office visits. Part B is your regular doctor's visits, again, covered by that, where you oftentimes have deductibles. And there are still deductibles that are associated with Part B. But there's a premium for that, too. And if you're taking your Social Security benefits, if you're receiving Social Security benefits, it usually comes out of your Social Security. Okay. And it's going to increase from $240 this year to $257. That's the deductible. Okay. But the premium is going up to 174. Excuse me. Gosh dang. It's $185 is what it's going to. This year, if you've been paying Part B, you've been paying $174.70. So it is going to go up about 10 or 11 bucks here a month for your Part B. So not a lot of people like that, because you got to pay more for those premiums. But it's the world we live in, right? Healthcare costs more. It's going to continue to cost more every year. But like I just mentioned, your deductible for Part B is also going up from $240 to $257 in 2025. So again, we're getting a $10 or $11 increase on our premium, but also our deductible is going up $70 in 2025 as well. Okay.
Sure.
Tony, yeah, go ahead. You were going to say something.
Well, I was going to say at least there's some. I know some years the cost of living increase in Social Security would just wash out with the increase in Medicare premiums. But at least this year there's a little extra to put in your pocket with
There
the
is.
COLA, right?
Yep. That's exactly right. I'm glad you brought that up. That was my next point here. And so the Social Security cost of living adjustment, or COLA, the annual inflation rate in October of this year was 3.2%. And the announced 2025 cost of living adjustment that it's going to increase your monthly benefits from Social Security is 2.5%. So about $50 a month more for the average American is what you could expect. So you are getting a little bit more money percentage-wise, maybe not so much, right? Because we're talking about inflation at 3.2. Your increase was 2.5. Plus, you've got some other increases through your Medicare and your deductibles. So percentage-wise, you're maybe not, but regular, real dollars, you are going to end up with a little bit more money per month. So that's the good thing.
Yeah, that is good.
Yep. The article that we're looking at here explains that when the Part B premium increases at a quicker rate than COLA, the premium cost can gobble up a bigger portion of a person's Social Security payment. You see what I did there, Tony?
I see what you did.
Okay, gobble up. Here we go.
Gobble. Yep, I got it. Got it. I wasn't ready with the the quick. I don't know what the rim shot.
There you go. There we go. All right. So your Part B premium. Let's talk about that, Tony. I just mentioned it's going from 174 this year to 185 next year.
Yep.
But I also want to address something that we just don't like to talk about, and it's a particular woman that. No, I'm just kidding. It's not a woman. It's Irma.
Okay. My Aunt Irma.
Yeah.
My aunt and Uncle Sam and Aunt Irma. I don't always trust them. I do not trust. I have an aunt and uncle, Uncle Sam and Aunt Irma, and you can't always trust them, right?
Man, yeah, Uncle Sam, nobody likes, and really nobody likes Aunt Irma here. So what are we talking about? We're talking about the income-related monthly adjustment. Okay, that's what IRMAA stands for, IRMAA. And it basically says that if your income is at a certain level, you will pay more for your Part B premium. Okay. So let's kind of look at this. For recipients who are married and live with their spouse for any part of the year and who file separate tax returns, the numbers break down as follows. Those making $106 or less, $606,000 or less, will pay the standard $185 that we referred to. Those making between $106,000 and $394,000, okay, will pay IRMAA of $406.90. Wow, Tony, is that an increase or what? Okay,
yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, plus the $185, the normal. So I mean, you're talking $591 is what you'll pay. Okay, and so that is a big number. But most people, I would say, if you're married, you're probably filing jointly. So these numbers are going to be a little bit different. But you really don't want to know if you make between $394,000 or more than $394,000, Tony. It goes up to $443 for a total of $628 a month for your Part B.
Ooh.
Yeah. So if you were, successful, you saved a bunch of money and you've got good retirement income, just, it's like anything else. You just got to factor it into your budget.
Yeah.
You can like it or not like it. Doesn't matter really, because you're going to have to pay regardless.
Right. And the larger Part B premium that goes up starting January 1st for people, right?
That's correct. Good point. Yes,
Yeah.
it does. And, there are some planning techniques. That's all based off of your modified adjustment gross income.
Sure.
And so, obviously income planning becomes a bigger piece of that. Now, what we often see is not so much the ongoing constant increase in IRMAA every year, but Tony, in my experience, what I've seen with IRMAA is a one-time deal, right? So, like, in other words, somebody retires and gets paid out a big, bonus, or gets paid out, maybe you sell your business, and you get, you got this lot of taxable income in 1 year. And so what it does is it causes your IRMAA to spike up. So you have that IRMAA tax that's only applicable to 1 year. So what I would suggest to you is, because they look at 2 years in the past, what I would suggest to you is that you should appeal, at that following year, to make sure that they know this was a one-time event. Okay.
Right.
And sometimes you need a signature from your, previous HR department, if that's associated with work. There's some things you've got to go, some hoops you got to jump through, but it's absolutely worth it, to not have to pay that huge IRMAA tax every year, or in a year that you really, shouldn't have to. You just had a one-time deal where you had your income at a little bit higher rate. So again, there are some things you can do about that, but there you go, your Part B premiums. So that's, like I said, like it or don't like it, you just got to pay.
Well, yeah. It's not like you have a choice, but again, like you say, there are strategies to take care of healthcare costs in retirement. And a lot of people think, well, Medicare is going to cover it. I don't need to worry about expensive medical costs in retirement. But that's not true, because you still have premiums, co-pays, deductibles. There's still costs. There's things Medicare doesn't cover. So that's why you need to work with a financial services professional, get everything planned out ahead of time, and review it each year during this time, the annual enrollment period, and talk to people who know about it, and don't just say, well, what I've got's been working, I'll keep doing that. When
Tony, that's exactly what people say too. That's exactly what you just said, is exactly what we hear all the time.
Yeah.
And really, when it comes to their supplement, and we'll talk about that in a second, but when it comes to their supplement, they're like, it's working. I don't need to, change anything or do anything. No, you should shop that every year, because your benefits are going to stay the same from company to company. In fact, you might get a little more extra ancillary benefits by switching to another company, but more importantly, save a few bucks, So anyway, yeah, you're exactly right. That's what a lot of people say. All right. So before we get into that, though, let's go back to Part A. Roughly 99% of Medicare recipients don't pay any premium for Part A, because they have at least the 40 quarters of Medicare covered employment, which is basically 10 years, right? So you contributed to Medicare, so then you automatically qualify for Part A. Now, Part A, what did I say? It's your hospital insurance, right? So that's what we call Part A. Now, there is a deductible. So we're talking about deductibles. And we're bringing this up, Tony, so people can kind of plan for this from not only a monthly premium standpoint, but to know what, you might be coming out of pocket for these deductibles, okay? So your Part A deductible will increase as well for 2025. It's going to go up to $1,676. So if you had to go into a hospital, you would have to pay that deductible, okay? It's a $44 increase from this year, by the way. So it's like everything else, it's going up, okay? And so there you go. There's a little bit of an increase for the Part A deductible as well. Okay, let's move on to supplements. So we've talked about Part A. We've talked about, your deductibles going up. A good thing is you don't have premiums for Part A, or like I said, if you're Medicare covered. And then your Part B premium's going up to $185. Your deductible is going up to $285 for Part B. So deductibles for both Part A and Part B are going up, and then your Part B premium is also going up a little bit. So what's next? Then we have supplements, okay? And so, Medicare Parts A and Part B, Tony, as you know, only cover 80% of healthcare costs.
Right.
So what are you going to do?
And it doesn't include vision, dental, and hearing, which are the 3 things all seniors need, right?
Yes,
It's just
100%.
crazy.
I need them now.
Yeah. Yeah.
My wife
Yeah.
always says, you really can't hear most of the time. Selective hearing, I think, is what she's referring to.
Selective hearing is what my wife tells me I have, but I actually do have some hearing loss in one ear. So, yeah, but now
all those concerts you went to when you were younger.
It's true. When I was younger, how about last night?
But look at that, folks. We're finding
a
something.
couple of months ago.
Okay.
But seriously, yeah. I mean, hearing aids used to be, if you wanted a nice pair, $10,000, $12,000, you could spend up to that much. They've come down a little bit, but now you can use the new generation of AirPod Pros by Apple and take this hearing test if you're in the regions where this is available, and you can use AirPod Pros as a hearing aid.
Oh, really? I did not
Yeah,
know that.
isn't that something?
Dropping the knowledge here.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, no, that's technology is a wonderful thing.
Oh yeah. But it's expensive.
When it works, Tony.
Yes.
Because I will tell you something. Okay, we're getting a little off track here, but that's okay. Technology is wonderful when it works, and when it doesn't, it's probably the most frustrating thing,
infuriating thing
my life.
It is. Mine too. And I know as we get older, it gets tougher. I mean, my dad,
it can be very annoying.
I've got to go help him with the remote. And the newer TVs, they don't make them easier. They get more and more complicated. It's like,
for sure, dude.
Could you simplify this? Yeah.
How about just the knob, right? We're going from channel 2 to channel 3 to channel 4. That's it. Not all this. We got streaming services.
I need a remote with 4 buttons on it. Power, channel up and down, volume up and down. That's all you want on that remote. But there's 500 buttons on the remote, and you're going to hand it to somebody who has vision and hearing issues and comprehension issues.
I mean, can you imagine? I mean, all of these different streaming services, all this stuff that we go through, and it's like, give me a freaking antenna and give me a knob. I mean, seriously, I don't need a remote. So
yeah. I'll take a remote, but I just want power, channel up, channel down, and volume up, volume down.
Okay, let's we're negotiating right now then. Okay. So let's do a wired remote. Do you remember those?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, Tony, I'm meeting you in the middle here, okay?
A wired remote, so the batteries can't go dead.
That's right.
Great. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Okay. But you don't want to trip over the wire, so that's the only thing I worry about there.
It's a negotiation process, Tony. Come on, man. Work with me here.
Okay. It is, but you're right. I mean, there are, what did you say? 80%, Medicare Parts A and B will cover about 80% in most cases.
As far as the expenses, yeah. So then what do you got to do? Most people look at supplements. Some people look at the Advantage plans, which actually replaces Part A and B with what we call a C plan, which is the Advantage plans. There is a general kind of opinion on those for me is that if you can afford a supplement, go that route. Okay.
Yes.
I'm not saying that Advantage plans are always bad. I'm just telling you that if you can afford a traditional supplement, by all the different companies that offer those, just go that route. It's a lot easier, and it takes some of the risk out too. So anyway, that's just my opinion. I'm not telling you what to do. Obviously, you can do whatever you want.
Right.
But so what does the supplement do? So they have different supplement plans that you can choose from. And this is nice. This is one of the things for sure that the CMS is, in my opinion, got really, really right, which is these supplement plans, they mandate that they have certain benefits. So in other words, a lot of the benefits of these different plans that you can choose from based on your specific situation are all the same. It's just a matter of company A through company B, C, and D, and whatever. And again, some of them throw in a few extra ancillary benefits, but they all have to do basically the same thing. That's the standardization of it.
Right.
And so what I would say is that is a good thing for the consumer. It's less confusing. And so really, what are you talking about? You're talking about cost comparison, right? If you're paying 150 a month and you can buy, the same thing for 120 a month, like why wouldn't you do that? So that's where I would encourage you that if you have a supplement, and by the way, if you're on a supplement, okay, your anniversary date of the date that you did it, that's what you need to look at. You can change within that period of time. It's not so much at the annual enrollment period that we're in right now and ends December 7th. So, that's what I would say is that if you know what your anniversary is, and a lot of times it's on that your card.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about your Medicare card, folks. I'm talking about your supplement card. So if you have it with, for example, Mutual of Omaha, and it's a Plan G, then you look at that anniversary, and then that's when you should call your agent and say, hey, is this still the right plan for me? Can I save a few bucks with the same benefits? And again, kind of going back to what you mentioned earlier, Tony, people say, well, I don't want to change because I'm comfortable and it's paid for everything that I need to pay for. Don't think like that, because the other companies that you have that are out there,
you could get more for the same. You might be able to get a lot more for the same amount of money, or get what you're getting now for a lot less.
There you go.
And every year you need to look at, and that goes for all your insurance. If you're
That's
not
true.
regularly calling the insurance company on your homeowners, and once a year you should call your auto, your homeowners, and say, I'm paying too much. How can I pay less? Well, and they usually, and a lot of times they come up with something.
They do. So I sit down with my guy here locally, and he's great. And we review all of the insurance policies that we have.
Yep.
And he basically says, this is where we're at. Let's review the deductibles. And then, either he says in a particular year, hey, we need to probably make a change. And that's what I love about him too, is he's independent. So he's got access to hundreds of companies. Well, maybe not hundreds, but he's got a lot of different companies that
he's not beholding to just one. It's not just a State Farm.
He's independent.
Guy. He's
That's
not just with State Farm. He's not just with Nationwide.
Right.
He looks at all the different companies.
He does.
In the same way that you're an independent financial advisor.
That's
so
right.
you can look at all the different investment options, financial tools, insurance companies out there, and say, oh, this is the insurance company that has the best cash value life policy that would work best for your
100%.
situation, right?
Yep, exactly. And honestly, that's like what I love about what I do, Tony, is because everybody's situation, their goals, needs, and change all the time, and they're different from person to person. And so that's what I love about it, is that puzzle, figuring out that puzzle that's best for them. But going back to the insurance policies, yes. And so when it comes to supplements, we do those here. Jason Lee in our office, he takes care of that for all of our clients. So it's really a one-stop shop when we're talking about all of their portfolio investments. And then we'd start talking about Medicare, protecting healthcare costs, those kinds of things. And we can do that also through our insurance agency here with Jason Lee. So if you do have a question about that, please give us a call at Alspaugh Wealth Management and ask for Jason, 573-332-7855, or look us up on the web and you can request an appointment with us at alspaughwealthmanagement.com.
All right. Well, yeah, and Jason there does a great job, and you want to make sure, because sometimes people get suckered into, oh, I'm in an Advantage plan, I don't pay any premium.
Right.
But then you look and, if certain things happen, they have to pay way more.
Right.
And it only includes if you go if you see anyone at any stage of the process, like in an emergency room or a different surgeon or anesthesiologist, then you're going to pay for that person because they're not in that particular network. So you need to work with somebody potentially. So you need to work with somebody like Jason, who's going to find a good plan for you. That, where are you going to be? Are you going to be traveling? Are you going to be local?
Right.
You don't want a plan that won't let you see the doctors you want to see.
100%, Tony.
Yeah.
Yep. So we can definitely work through that with you. But the bottom line is this: Medicare is a great tool to use to pay for your healthcare and retirement. That's the bottom line, right? That's what they're there for. And so, but to make sure that you have the other plans that are right for you to supplement what parts A and Part B do for you are so important as well. Yeah. And the other part of it is the income planning, to understand what these things are doing. Because if you look at some of the increases that we've seen historically on these Medicare Part A and Part B premiums, the Part B premiums, and then the deductibles for both Part B, you've got to factor these into your income plan, and to know that, hey, they're going to probably increase more than the normal rate of inflation. So let's factor that in when we're talking about our income plan. And we'll do all of that here for you at Alspaugh Wealth Management.
Excellent. Well, Brock, before we go today, let our listeners know one more time that phone number and the web address.
Just give us a call. Good old-fashioned phone call. I'm kind of an old-fashioned guy. 573-332-7855. Or you can look us up on the web and request an appointment with us at alspaugwealthmanagement.com.
All right. That does it for today's episode of the Retirement Playbook with Brock Alspaugh. And have a happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
As God is my witness, I thought turkeys could fly.